A famous scientist came back to Cal Poly to help engineering students test what could become the new era of aerospace technology.
Students protest administrative regulations this quarter in an interesting way.
And the San Luis Obispo citrus orchards have been under quarantine thanks to the Asian citrus psyllid.
Broadcasting live from Cal Poly in beautiful San Luis Obispo, this is Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News. I'm David Kline.
And I'm Amanda Fridley. Today we bring you a recap of spring quarter.
Cal Poly welcomed a familiar face back to campus, and he may be helping engineering students make history. While students may know scientist Bill Nye for his past educational video series, Nye is now the CEO of Planetary Society and is helping Cal Poly engineering students create a light sail to help broaden the spectrum of space exploration.
To have a standard solar sail has great potential for a great many organizations to go to all sorts of very interesting and scientifically important destinations in the solar system.
The light sail is completely solar powered and would help lower the overall costs of space exploration. Nye overlooked the sail's test launches in late May. The sail itself costs about $5 million.
Students gathered to remember one of their own last week. Peter Gonzalez visited the event that drew in more than 600 people.
This is actually like my baby. It's my favorite event of the whole year. And this is actually the third Mustang Mile that I coordinated. It's the 5th annual Mustang Mile in general, so I've been a part of it for 3 out of the 5 years.
I'm here at the Cal Poly Mustang Mile. Behind me is the starting line, which is where all of the runners will begin. As you can see, there are people warming up and getting ready to go. The race is about to begin.
There's a lot of excitement and energy at the start and finish line. We have a little over 600, more like 650 participants tonight, so it's a lot of people.
Mustang Mile, let's go!
I'm here to raise money for Aware Awake Alive for Carson's story.
It's a partnership with Aware Awake Alive, supporting Carson Starkey in the story of his death due to alcohol poisoning, and it combines that with Cal Poly's Mustang Way. So I just really love the campus culture and the spirit and the energy that comes with this event.
This is something that I want to support because it's something really close to home for me. I've had a family friend who passed away in a drunk driving accident, and so I like making sure that people are aware of the consequences of drinking, and I want people and their friends to be safe.
I'm here at the end of the race. This is the finish line. This is where the 5K will end. All the runners will get through to here, with the first place obviously getting a prize.
What does it feel like to win first place?
It kind of hurt. I didn't know I was gonna race this till like right before it.
Peter Gonzalez, Mustang News.
For more information on Carson Starkey and Awake Aware Alive, visit awakeawarealive.org.
In the light of the California primary, Amelia Pereira went out to a rally in Santa Maria to see how Cal Poly students are feeling the burn.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California through the New York Island.
I'm here inside Santa Maria High School, where, as you can see behind me, hundreds of people are anxiously waiting for Senator Bernie Sanders to come out and speak.
About 7,500 people came out to see Sanders talk about what he proposes to bring to the United States if he becomes president. Many Cal Poly students stood among the crowd and said how they felt to be at the rally and a part of Sanders' legacy.
I'm gonna feel very emotional, I'm gonna be very loud. I'm probably gonna scream like a girl.
Those students also said which issues they hoped Sanders would address in his speech.
Climate change, the environment, clean energy,
and climate change,
student debt, make college free.
Once Sanders arrived, those students heard what they were hoping for.
Together, we are going to take on the fossil fuel industry and tell them that their short-term profits are not more important than the future of our planet. Thank you. I believe it is time to impose a tax on Wall Street speculation, which will bring in more than enough money to make public colleges and universities tuition-free and lower student debt.
Senator Sanders gave his speech from this podium that is right behind me, and now that he has wrapped it up, Cal Poly students are giving their reactions.
It was everything I could have possibly hoped for and dreamed.
Sanders wraps up his California rallies in Santa Cruz before the June 7th primary. Amelia Pereira, Mustang News.
After visiting Santa Maria, Sanders made speeches in cities throughout Northern California to prepare for the California primary.
Cal Poly was one of 5 CSU's campuses to hold a demonstration this quarter about the Board of Trustees' 2% fee increase. The Students for Quality Education stayed a 55-minute die-in in front of the administration building. The fee is part of the Student Success Fees, which is part of the sustainable financial model proposed by the CSU system. The students put on a display representing the death of the CSU. The cardboard coffin featured a dummy representing CSU Chancellor Timothy White. Members of California Faculty Association were seen on the sidelines supporting the students. SQE organizer Mick Bruckner says the fee increase will have a significant impact on the accessibility of the CSU.
The CSU is so important, and to not continue this legacy of accessibility and equitability, how can you deny that?
The Board of Trustees will be voting on the sustainable financial model in the fall of this year.
Avila Beach is now clean for the summer. Kara Benson has more on how members of the community were able to make this happen.
Mine's bigger.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a beautiful day at the beach, except when it's covered with trash like this. That's why more than 500 people have rallied together here at Avila Beach to help clean it up.
With live music, face painting, and even some panting dogs, the beach cleanup was an activity for the whole family. The Beneath the Surface Beach Cleanup event was organized with the help of Cal Poly senior and Central Coast Aquarium intern Megan Van Hammersveld. She put on the event as part of her senior project and was surprised with the big turnout.
It's pretty much like bigger than my wildest dreams, like what I would expect to happen.
Megan first found her love for the beach growing up in San Diego. She said she spent so much time at the ocean it made her gain a true respect for it. So she decided she wanted to help the environment. She says that working at the aquarium has only strengthened that desire.
They're working for something that's bigger than themselves, and so it just gives me a lot of hope for what my future could look like and how I could really be making a difference.
Just like Megan, 6-year-old Gavin found a love for the ocean at a young age. He said that building sandcastles on the beach isn't quite as fun when it's covered with trash.
That means you have to clean it up and put it in trash cans. It's my first time because I want to help clean up the beach.
Taking the steps and volunteering to help the environment truly has no age limit. Kara Benson, Mustang News.
Coming up, we'll see what it takes to be part of Cal Poly's regionally ranked logging team.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Cal Poly's logging team is in second place for the region after competing in Montana in the Association of Western Forestry Clubs Conclave. We visited the logging unit to see how the class teaches not only traditional forestry skills, but also teamwork.
I'm here at Cal Poly's logging unit where students in Natural Resources 290 get a chance to do some logging activities like axe throwing.
So we practice traditional forestry skills based on traditional logging practices, sawing, using a crosscut saw, chopping. Then there's chainsaw events like cutting with a chainsaw. There's tree climbing. You use spurs and a rope to get up the pole as fast as you can. Burling or log rolling. Put a log in the water and you gotta, 2 people on a log, you gotta stay on longer than the other person. We compete in these events against other schools.
When the loggers saw, they start with a first bottom cut, they stop at the red mark, and then they end with a top cut where they try and meet in the red mark in the same spot. And the goal is to make sure that this wall right here doesn't exist, that there's no difference between the 2 cuts so that it's a clean cut. This is an example of a bad cut, while this is an example of a good cut.
I love it. Being a girl on the logging team is really fun because you get to participate in a lot of events. I think when there's more guys, it's hard to, you have to kind of find your niche a little bit and pick an event and get really good at it. For girls, because there's less of us, you can really try anything.
And I also like to saw. Sawing's
really good workout too.
And register for Natural Resources 290 in the fall.
San Luis Obispo citrus orchards have been under quarantine thanks to the Asian citrus psyllid. While the orchard produces large yields of fruit, the area is currently under quarantine thanks to a small bug in the Asian citrus that students and crop science professor Dr. Lauren Gardner have to work around.
We have, to this date, not found any of the psyllids in our orchards, but the psyllids have been found close enough to our orchards that we are within the quarantine zone.
The psyllid is a carrier of a disease causing an organism called Huanlanbing, or HLB. According to Gardner, HLB has the ability to kill the plant within 5 to 7 years, and there's currently no known cure. But the fruit is still being sold to stores, and the Orchards U-Pick program, where locals come and pick fruit, provide an educational support system for consumers to learn about the disease.
Cal Poly's Horticulture and Crop Science Unit hosted its annual Tomato Mania student-run project this quarter. This annual enterprise project is organized by 6 student volunteers, some of whom have worked on the same event before the sale this year, had over 700 different varieties of plants. From tiny tomatoes to watermelon beefsteak, the plants were sown back in February, and heated temperatures have helped grow the plants to almost 3 feet tall by the end of March. 2 of the 6 student volunteers told us how the plants and event is organized.
Yeah, so we grow them from seed. And so right now we have about 3,500 plants right now. In previous years it's been 6,000, so it just depends on the year. We're trying to get to a nice number of plants grown and sold. We sell most of them. And then some we can grow here. We have a little employee garden that we grow and then can have some too for us, so that's fun. What we are currently in the poly house. It's the most rustic or simple greenhouses that we have. It creates a good, warm, humid environment when all the parts are working well together for happy tomatoes. And they're doing great. And it's amazing that just like 2 months ago they were seeds. It's really, really cool. Plants are awesome.
The Tomato Mania plants involved in Tomato Mania are sold out of the Poly Plant Shop located on campus. The event happens around the same time every year.
Students at Cal Poly are used to seeing large tour groups. Peter Gonzalez hopped onto one of the tours to see what it's like to be a Poly rep.
If I'm just in my street clothes walking around campus, I'm just some other guy. But when I'm wearing this, I'm that guy. I'm that guy everyone wants to be.
And Matthew Medlin is that guy. He's one of the 55 green polo-wearing individuals who lead the tours for prospective students, grade school kids, and their families around Cal Poly. Poly Reps is a volunteer group and is sponsored by Admissions and Alumni Relations. The students who belong to the organization have to go through an application process. Those that are chosen because they live the Cal Poly motto, learn by doing. They visit schools and provide tours for prospective students. Often you'll see students crossing the streets with their tour groups. These Poly Reps will lead them while walking backwards across the street as so. Obviously traffic has to stop for them, but they have to pay attention to their surroundings while doing so. Allison Martinez is in her first quarter as a Poly Rep. She says that a recent tour has now changed her perspective on the organization.
Because first it was all about like getting Cal Poly's name out there, supporting a school that I love and believe in so much, but now it's like a whole nother level where like I can go visit these schools or have more tours come to us that I can take charge of and really just encourage and promote college to kids that maybe never even had an opportunity or thought they had the possibility to go to college later.
You guys are seniors. Hey, here's our card. Having an internship, having a job here.
Matthew, who has been with the organization for 2.5 years and has led many tours, says that this experience is part of the reason he is at Cal Poly.
I want to show people all the cool things you can do in college. Also show them that you should do something you love in college and that it's a special place. I mean, I'm trying to entertain them while making them potentially change their life with a tour. The tour can really dictate where you go, why you go there. So I feel like the tour is really important.
That concludes my tour with the Poly Reps. Peter Gonzalez, Mustang News.
Students interested in becoming Poly Reps will have the opportunity to apply next November.
Kinesiology students help Special Olympians reach their fitness goals after the break.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Friday Club is the name given to the kinesiology lab where students work with Special Olympians to prove their skills in a variety of sports. Here's Laura Hoover with the story.
Basketball and bowling.
I like the dancing, and the kids tire me out when I'm dancing. They dance with me.
Well, my favorite part of Special Olympics is swimming.
For these athletes and over 100 others, Friday Club is a way to get involved in a community and gets them in shape through basketball, bowling, dance, beanbag toss, and other activities. For students, Friday Club is an opportunity to learn how to interact and work with people who have a variety of disabilities. Kinesiology junior Ariana Aragon took the lab last quarter, but has returned to volunteer because she loved it so much.
I think like my favorite memory overall is like how they just remember you. They remember your name. Like people that like lack the knowledge of individuals with disabilities kind of don't see that. But if you like get in touch with them and get to know them, then they'll remember you, which is really cool.
Erin Tract is a graduate student who heads up Friday Club every week in the rec center. She says that seeing the athletes have a good time and watching Cal Poly students interact with them are the most rewarding parts of her job.
They're like everyone else in society, and there's just so much reward when you work with people with disabilities, and just to see them progress and the smiles on their faces and enjoying themselves, it's a great experience.
Laura Hoover, Mustang News.
Friday Club is not only a way to encourage Special Olympians, but students learn valuable lessons about the challenges that people with disability face on a daily basis.
There was no shortage of creativity during the College of Architecture and Environmental Design's annual Design Village. Nestled in the hills of Pauley Canyon, Architecture Graveyard became the home of dozens student open house weekend. Design Village is an annual event hosted by the College of Architecture and Environmental Design and is open to all students of all majors. Each team of students is competing by building shelters that house them for the duration of the weekend. Although students are given creative freedom during their designs, many students choose to keep in spirit with the competition's theme. Coming from the College of Business, the Industrial Technology Apprenticeship Club is the only Cal Poly team who competed.
And it'd be really cool to see other teams really do this, because I'd like to see, what, maybe an engineering team would do, or, even majors like ag or something else to really exemplify a theme with what they learn in their majors.
Aura was the 6th annual Design Village competition.
Coming up, Harrison Riley has a look back at the biggest sports story of the quarter.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
I'm Harrison Riley, and here are your top sports stories for 2016. Lakers future Hall of Famer Kobe Bryant played his last game a few weeks ago, and throughout his career, he has made a huge impact of many people's lives. Reporters David Kline and Alison Royal wanted to find out what kind of impact number 24 has had on Cal Poly students.
Guys, Kobe Bryant's last game is Wednesday night.
Against the Utah Jazz.
And he's been playing his whole 20-year career with Los Angeles Lakers.
So whether you're for number 8 or number 24, he's been bleeding purple and gold since the beginning.
And we wanted to ask Cal Poly students what are their favorite moments about Kobe Bryant.
Oh!
I thought that was pretty good.
That was good.
It marks an end of an era for our generation, at least, ever since I've been watching basketball.
My favorite Kobe Bryant moment is when I met him in Blockbuster.
I had 81 points, I would say. That's a historic number. Not everyone's done that. Only, I think, one other person's done that, and that was Wilt Chamberlain.
He holds a lot of records, one of which is interesting. It's actually the most shots missed, but that's because he knows he's a good player, so he can take them and still make his team an excellent team.
Probably his 81 points against Toronto, because he was just unstoppable that game.
He's been the biggest superstar of our generation, so Kobe's the man.
David Kline, Mustang News.
The men's soccer team's 2016 and 2017 schedule has been released. David Kline has more on how the season looks for the Mustangs.
What's going on, guys? I'm David Kline, and today we'll be looking at the 2016-2017 Cal Poly men's soccer schedule. Let's get right off into it in the month of August. In the preseason, Stanford comes to town. Now, Stanford's a team that won the national championship last season, so it'll be very interesting to see how Coach Sampson and the lads fare off against a national championship contender in the Stanford Cardinal. Then, 9 days later, the team will travel to the East Coast to take on North Carolina and Wake Forest. Now, North Carolina last year won the ACC Coastal Division with a 15-2-3 record, while Wake Forest won the ACC Atlantic Division with a 17-3-2 record. So already off the bat in the regular season, two very big ACC powerhouses for Mustangs to face on the East Coast. Then we move on to the month of September. A couple of Pac-12 opponents in San Diego State and UCLA. Now, UCLA is a team that Cal Poly is very familiar with. Last year, they lost 4-1 to the Bruins in the regular season, and then lost again 2-0 to the Bruins in the first round of the NCAA men's tournament. So it'll be a revenge match for the Mustangs to try and get some payback against the Bruins from UCLA. Now we go into the month of October as Big West play begins. Two big games that you want to keep your eye on is on the 15th and the 22nd, UC Santa Barbara. Of course, it's a blue-green rivalry, the biggest soccer rivalry in all of college soccer. Cal Poly will want to get some big points right there along with some other points throughout the regular season. And then, of course, in November, you have postseason play begin for the Big West. And then in the middle of the month, if the Mustangs do make it, the NCAA tournament. So, guys, that's the soccer schedule for the 2016 season for the Mustangs. That's all I got for you. Back to you guys.
If you'd like more information about the soccer team, you can check out their page at gopoly.com. Cal Poly offers more than just exercise classes at the rec center. The university also offers classes that can get students out of harmful situations. Amanda Fridley visited one of those classes.
All right, go, 1 for 1.
Cal Poly offers specialized fitness classes, including Krav Maga, a form of reality-based self-defense.
Freshman year, I started hearing about different attacks around campus, and it really scared me, and I wanted to do as much as I could to prevent anything from happening and being as prepared as possible in the case that it did happen.
Focus on, I pluck and I push, and then I reset. Go. Switch every 5.
Class assistant Molly Burns says watching students having fun as well as learning how to protect themselves is what she likes most.
Kind of cool seeing something that I love and that I'm really enjoying and starting to get more and more into, being able to transfer that to the students and help other people who are just like me who wanted to get into it and wanted to stay with it. So it's definitely awesome seeing how everyone's sort of learning and being able to help with that.
Nathan Zimmerman, instructor of the course, has over 10 years of martial arts training and says Krav Maga is the most helpful in real-life situations.
Tell the bad guys all we want that that's not right and it's not how they should behave, but unfortunately they don't care. So we have to be ready to kind of deal with whatever we end up having to deal with. And I kind of like to think of Krav as kind of adding something to the toolbox that I hopefully never have to use in real life, but that I'm ready to use if I need to.
Nathan says Krav Maga isn't about fighting necessarily, as it is about making smart decisions.
Self-defense starts when I walk out the door in the morning, not putting myself in situations that I shouldn't be in. When I walk out the door that I'm not comfortable being in.
Amanda Fridley, Mustang News.
Club sports may not receive the same funding and recognition that soccer or football do, but Ayrton Osley has the latest on the club sports headed to nationals for the first time.
One of the oldest club sport teams at Cal Poly is Slow Core, the Cal Poly Ultimate Frisbee team. Since 1978, the team has competed in the open divisions of Southern California and the Southwest region of USA Ultimate. And for the first time in years, the team is headed to the national tournament in Raleigh, North Carolina. For players like team president Joel Anton, this is the culmination of years of work.
When I was actually both when I was a freshman and sophomore, we didn't even qualify for our regional championship. We lost in the games to go during the SoCal sectional tournaments. So it means a lot for our team to see us develop so much.
In years past, the team had a way of playing that did develop young talent. With a different head coach coming in 2 years ago, the team changed its philosophy for the better.
Our coach, Peter Raines, came on board. He is an alumni that graduated right before we got to school. And he's just been amazing for developing a culture of forgiving people for making mistakes and then teaching them how to learn from them. And then our captains over the past few years have also done a great job of working with our younger talent and developing people from there.
After winning the Southwest Regionals with an unexpected 13-8 win over Stanford, the team will play in the Division I championships. Their first matchup is against top-ranked University of Massachusetts tomorrow afternoon. No matter how the weekend goes, this can only be good for the team's future. Only 20 teams make the Division I tournament every year, and this puts Cal Poly's club team on the map. Ayrton Osley, Mustang News.
In my 4 years at Cal Poly, many of my favorite sporting moments happened not only on campus, but across the country. The Giants won 2 World Series, and the Niners went to 3 straight NFC Championship games. In basketball, the Miami Heat Big Three came and went, and LeBron returned to Cleveland, only to get stopped by the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. And may get stopped again before graduation this weekend. On campus, Cal Poly baseball were the #1 team in the country, making it to the NCAA regionals twice, while hosting it once. The Cal Poly men's basketball team also upset UCLA and made it to the NCAA tournament. And finally, I was lucky enough to rush the field twice after Cal Poly beat UCSB at in soccer and the blue-green rivalry. After watching 4 years of sports at Cal Poly, I'm Harrison Riley, signing off for the last time. Amanda, David, back to you.
Thank you very much, Harrison. Coming up, some four-legged performers with an important message to send to the public came to Cal Poly.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
After 16 years, the question, who let the dogs out, finally has an answer. Jillian Smith has the story.
After appearing on shows like Ellen DeGeneres, Queen Latifah, Oprah Winfrey, and more, Chris Pirandi and his team of special performers stopped here at the Cal Poly Performing Arts Center to entertain the San Luis Obispo community. Stunt Dog Productions teams up with only the best dog trainers and performers in the country. The Pirandis have brought dozens of trainers into their stunt dog family over the years and have assisted in numerous trainers in getting their start in the industry. But all of this started with a simple desire that almost everyone has at some point in their life.
It started as a hobby. I just wanted a dog to catch a flying disc. I've always been a huge animal lover growing up as a kid, and I just thought it'd be the coolest thing to adopt a dog first off and then train it to do some cool tricks and maybe get it to catch some frisbees. So I thought that would be the coolest thing ever.
All of the dogs in the shows are trained using positive training methods with the use of a clicker and toy motivation. They each have unique talents and a signature move to showcase. The Pirandis work with each dog's individual ability, athleticism, and intelligence. However, even with all of that training, sometimes things don't always go as planned when you're working with animals.
Yeah, silly things happen sometimes. They're dogs, you know, they're our pets and we love them, but every once in a while they're not perfect.
While his team may have started out with a bit of a rough life, Pirandi has taken them under his wing with love and encouragement of some doggone fun.
Yeah, all the dogs are actually rescues from pounds and shelters, and that is our mission. It has been ever since I started my show back in 1999.
Jillian Smith, Mustang News.
That's all we have for our Best of show. I'm Amanda Fridley.
And I'm David Kline. Thank you for joining us this quarter on Mustang News. For continuous coverage, check out mustangnews.net. Now we will leave you with a Mustang News broadcast version doing the Running Man Challenge.
I've got you on my mind, your secret admirer. I've been watching